concentrated and endowed with wisdom, energetic and resolute, will cross the flood. So here the three things are important: sila, samadhi and panya. Virtue or moral conduct, that is the basic. If a person has moral conduct, then when he practices meditation, it's easier for him to gain the second step, which is concentration. And when he has concentration, then wisdom will come. But the Buddha says he has to be energetic and resolute, very, very diligent, hard-working. Next sutta is 2.17. Standing to one side, the young Deva Subrahma addressed the Blessed One in verse: "Always frightened is this mind. The mind is always agitated about unarisen problems and about arisen ones. If there exists release from fear, being asked, please declare it to me." And the Buddha said, "Not apart from enlightenment and austerity, not apart from restraint of the sense faculties, not apart from relinquishing all, do I see any safety for living beings." This is what the Blessed One said. And the young Deva disappeared right there. So here this Deva, apparently, his mind is always agitated and frightened. Problems have not come, he's worried about them. Present problems are also, he's fearful. And he asked the Buddha what to do. Then the Buddha says, "Not apart from relinquishing all do I see any safety for living beings." So the Buddha is saying, unless we let go of everything, let go of the world, then there is no safety. There's no safety because we will experience aging, sickening, and dying. So only when a person has become enlightened that he attains the deathless. So when a person becomes enlightened, even though the body dies, he does not feel I die. He knows the body dies. There's no more I for him, no more self. So the Buddha says, you have to attain enlightenment. You have to practice austerities, restraint of the sense faculties, letting go everything. Then only you have security. Otherwise, as long as we have not attained any stage, ardent stages, the woeful plains of existence were still waiting for us. We will definitely keep being reborn in the ghostly realm, the animal realm, and the hell realm. 2.20 Anathapindika Sutta. Standing to one side, the young Deva Anathapindika recited these verses in the presence of the Blessed One. This indeed is the Jeta's grove, the resort of this order of seers, or the Sangha of seers. Dwelt in by the Dhamma King, Dhammaraja, a place that gives me joy, action, knowledge, righteousness, virtue, and excellent life. By this are mortals purified, not by clan or wealth. Therefore, a person who is wise, out of regard for his own good, should carefully examine the Dhamma. Thus he is purified in it. Sariputta truly is endowed with wisdom, with virtue, and with inner peace. Even a monk who has gone beyond, at best, can only equal him. This is what the young Deva Anathapindika said. Having said this, he paid homage to the Blessed One, and keeping him on the right, he disappeared right there. Then when the night had passed, the Blessed One addressed the monks thus: "Monks, last night, when the night had advanced, a young Deva approached me, and in my presence recited these verses." And the Buddha repeated the verses. This is what the young Deva said. Having said this, he paid homage to me, and keeping me on the right, he disappeared right there. When this was said, the Venerable Ananda said to the Blessed One, "Venerable Sir, the young Deva must surely have been Anathapindika, for Anathapindika, the householder, had full confidence in the Venerable Sariputta. And the Buddha said, good, Ananda, you have drawn the right inference by reasoning. For that young Deva, Ananda, was Anathapindika. And that's the end of the sutta. So I am reading this sutta to you, just to let you know that Anathapindika, after he passed away, he was born in the heaven. Now, according to the books, I think he was born in the Tusita heaven. Let's see. This Anathapindika, he was a great admirer of Sariputta. So, even when he spoke to the Buddha, he praised Sariputta, saying that any monk, even he has become enlightened, can only, at the best, equal Sariputta, can never be better than Sariputta. A lot of lay people like that. I like that. A lot of people, lay people, have their favorite monk. 2.26 Rohitassa Sutta. It's a very interesting sutta. At Savatthi, standing to one side, the young Deva, Rohitassa, said to the Blessed One, "Is it possible, Venerable Sir, by travelling to know or to see or to reach the end of the world, where one is not born, does not age, does not die, does not pass away, and is not reborn?" And the Buddha said, "As to that end of the world, friend, where one is not born, does not age, does not die, does not pass away, and is not reborn, I say that it cannot be known, seen, or reached by travelling." And the Deva said, "It is wonderful, Venerable Sir, it is amazing, Venerable Sir, how well this was stated by the Blessed One. Once in the past, Venerable Sir, I was a seer or an ascetic named Rohitassa, son of Bhoja, possessed of spiritual power, able to travel through the sky. My speed was such, Venerable Sir, that I could move just as swiftly as a firm boat archer, an archer who can hold the bow firmly. Trained, skillful, practiced, experienced, could easily shoot past the shadow of a palmyra tree with a light arrow. My stride was such, Venerable Sir, that it seemed to reach from the eastern ocean to the western ocean. Then, Venerable Sir, the wish arose in me, I will reach the end of the world by travelling. Possessing such speed and such stride, and having a lifespan of 100 years, living for 100 years, I travel for 100 years without pausing, except to eat, drink, take meals and snacks, to defecate and urinate, to sleep and dispel fatigue. Yet I died along the way without having reached the end of the world. It is wonderful, Venerable Sir, it is amazing, Venerable Sir, how well this was stated by the Blessed One. As to that end of the world, friend, where one is not born, does not age, does not die, does not pass away, and is not reborn, I say that it cannot be known, seen, or reached by travelling. And the Buddha said, however, friend, I say that without having reached the end of the world, there is no making an end to suffering. It is, friend, in just this fathom-high carcass, endowed with perception and mind, that I make known the world, the origin of the world, the cessation of the world, and the way leading to the cessation of the world. The world's end can never be reached by means of travelling, yet without reaching the world's end, there is no release from suffering. Therefore, truly, the world knower, the wise one, gone to the world's end, fulfiller of the holy life, having known the world's end, at peace, longs not for this world or another. So here, this sutta is about Deva, who was formerly an ascetic with psychic power. And then he felt that this world was full of suffering, so he thought, He wants to get out of this world of suffering and go to a place where there is no aging, where there is no sickening, and no dying, and no being reborn. So he thought with his great psychic power, he could fly so fast. Eventually one day he will come to the end of the world and get out of the world. So he said for 100 years he kept flying without much wasting time until he died. He could not find the end of the world. Actually, according to the Buddha, space, there is no limit to the ends of space. Space is boundless, no limitless. That's why if you keep flying, you can never reach the end of space. So the Buddha said, but without coming to the end of the world, you cannot get out of suffering. And then the Buddha says, it is in this body itself is the world. It's the beginning of the world, the end of the world. The way going to the end of the world is all within this body. Why? Because within our body is consciousness. Consciousness dwells within our body. And the world is in consciousness. Consciousness only exists when the world only exists when there is consciousness. Right? So to reach the end of the world, you have to reach the end of consciousness. And since consciousness is within us, we have to go inside us and find the origin of consciousness. And if we can come to the state where consciousness ceases, that is the end of the world. So the end of the world is not out there somewhere. The only place, in fact, the world itself, the beginning of the world, the end of the world, everything is within us. 2.29 Susima Sutta Asavati. Then the Venerable Ananda approached the Blessed One, paid homage to him and sat down to one side. The Blessed One then said to him, "Do you too, Ananda, approve of Sariputta?" And Ananda said, "Indeed, Venerable Sir, who would not approve of the Venerable Sariputta unless he were foolish, full of hatred, deluded, or mentally deranged? The Venerable Sariputta, Venerable Sir, is wise, one of great wisdom, of wide wisdom, of joyous wisdom, of swift wisdom, of sharp wisdom, of penetrative wisdom. The Venerable Sariputta, Bhante, has few wishes. He is content, secluded, aloof, energetic. The Venerable Sariputta, Venerable Sir, is one who gives advice, one who accepts advice, a reprover, one who censures evil. Indeed, Venerable Sir, who would not approve of the Venerable Sariputta unless he were foolish, full of hatred, deluded, or mentally deranged?" And the Buddha said, "So it is, Ananda, so it is. Indeed, Ananda, who would not approve of Sariputta unless he were foolish, full of hatred, deluded, or mentally deranged? Sariputta, Ananda is wise," etc. So the Buddha repeated exactly what Ananda said. Then while this praise of the Venerable Sariputta was being spoken, the young Deva Susima, accompanied by a great assembly of young Devas, approached the Blessed One. Having approached, he paid homage to the Blessed One, stood to one side and said to him, "So it is, Blessed One, so it is, Fortunate One. Indeed, Venerable Sir, who would not approve of the Venerable Sariputta?" And he also repeated exactly what Venerable Ananda said. "In my case too, Venerable Sir, no matter what assembly of young Devas I have approached, I have often heard this same report. The Venerable Sariputta is wise, etc., etc. Who would not approve of the Venerable Sariputta unless he were foolish, full of hatred, deluded, or mentally deranged?" I stop here for a moment. So here this Deva is also praising the Venerable Sariputta. And this Deva is saying whenever he meets other Devas, he hears other Devas also full of praise for the Venerable Sariputta. And this is quite the opposite of what the later Mahayana books say. The later Mahayana books always like to put down Venerable Sariputta. Then while this praise of the Venerable Sariputta was being spoken, the young Devas in Susima's assembly, elated, gladdened, full of rapture and joy, displayed diverse lustrous colors